Up under police, we've got the Public Safety Committee directives. So basically, the Public Safety Committee produced a list of directives and submitted those to the chief. And that was a bit informal, so we're now looking to make that more formal. They've been revised a little bit, so basically, I'm gonna run through these. We're looking for flock cameras, reconciliation and confirmation on the number of cameras we have. There's some conflicting information from the invoice that we received and the information that we've been given. Number 2 is the lexical system, getting that administrative access for council and read access for the mayor. Written patrol policy, onboarding timeline and checklist for new officers. There's some changes to the monthly report. Standing patrol and vehicle use requirements. Patrol coverage of vehicle use and out-of-borough travel. Active use of GPS data for operational control. I believe that's the last one there. So basically what we're looking to do is formalize this in a resolution so that it can be provided to the department and we can work through it all. Any questions on that? All right, next up is Ridge Street handicap parking application. And we talked about that a little bit last time, but we were gonna relook at that.
No, this is a new one.
Another one?
Yeah, I have a question, because the prior application said, is the condition expected to exist 6 months or more? And the applicant's literally saying they're gonna be reevaluated in 6 months. So now, every time somebody has a surgery and they're gonna be reevaluated, this just opens up the door that we're gonna do, what, temporary handicap signs or whatever. So, I'm sorry, I mean, it's gotta stop at some point in time.
Yeah, so this is like a surgery or something like
They
that?
had a surgery, they're supposed to be evaluated in 6 months, so right there, the answer to that question is truthfully no, it's not expected to last beyond 6 months. They want to come back to us after their 6-month checkup and say like, now it's permanent, then that's a different discussion from my perspective.
I think one thing we can look at that, with that is making it so that it has to be a permanent handicap placard for us to even look at. You know, if it's a temporary thing, then why are we looking to put up a permanent sign? You know, in general, I think we can look at maybe revising that. Thank you.
Did I get that right, Heather?
You did, it's absolutely right. You presented with a red temporary.
All right, anything else on that? All right. So next one is the PD comprehensive evaluation resolution. So here what we're looking at is, well, exactly as it says. So we're looking at the options for the future of the police department, police services, I should say, in the borough. What that includes is every incarnation of a police department. So at keeping things as is, at expanding our department and looking at being a hub for regionalization, looking at another department to be the hub for that regionalization and we kind of join in with them. Looking at other departments covering Freeland Borough and not having a department of our own. And then the last one would be looking at state police coverage. So basically looking at every possibility that we have to have a police department, what that looks like, where we're at right now. And with that, it includes a whole slew of things that need to be assessed. When I provided this to the solicitor, the main thing that he said was that we should look at an independent third party to do that service. I have started looking into that with the DCED and the PSAB to see if there are services. I haven't heard back from them, but I did send that out earlier on today. So that would be the one caveat to this that he was suggesting, is that instead of, as I have it directed, as the department heads, the borough solicitor, public safety committee, borough secretary, mayor, chief of police, and we all do that. He's saying it would be probably better if an independent third party came in to do it. So I may have an update to that the next day or two. We'll see.
I'm just going to add on to that a little bit if I could.
Yeah, please.
Since it's an investigatory process and really you're just trying to look at all options and get an overview of it. As part of why I'm recommending a consultant, because they could prepare that for you as a chart or a plan or a list or a series of plans, and probably could do a lot of the organization and legwork more efficiently than if it went through, let's say, the solicitor's office and all the other sub-departments trying to coordinate with each other. So that's the thought.
Can you ask a question at the end, or can I ask a question?
You could jump in right now, I don't think we,
What precipitated this,
what precipitated what?
that you're gonna do this?
I mean, to be quite honest, the financial responsibility and the administrative overhead that the police department is. And I'll take this chance to speak about the, some parts of this, which is that we spend our entire real estate tax income on a police department. So the 500 and some $1,000 that we bring in from real estate, that's what it costs us for the department. So the percentage of our budget that is, and the fact that administering the police department has a lot of duties that fall to council and the mayor, which quite frankly, in my opinion, have not been done by either of those two very effectively. And I think because of that, it creates difficulty.
Is there a timeline for this? Like, are you going to?
So yeah, the timeline here is, that I have laid out is we start this process here in June, and then by September, we have all of the information that we're looking for, and then budget time comes in October. That's when we have to put the numbers on a page when we're thinking about where we're gonna allocate the funds. So we should have that information before we do that process, so we can make the proper decision at that time.
Have you been in touch with any other departments? I mean, are you actively pursuing at this point?
Have not spoken to anyone. This is the first time that so I'll say this, any action that we take always begins with something like this. I don't reach out to other departments, I don't talk to other mayors and other people unless council does that first. So that's why there's a resolution here, so we will formally begin that process. I can tell you that no conversations have been had with anyone, not by me and not formally through council. If anybody talked to anybody, it was personal. I assure you that. Yes, sir.
Does that mean that we're not gonna do any hiring until after September?
It does not. We are still, a few questions right after this, we're gonna be talking about where we're at with the part-time hiring and where we're at with the full-time hiring. Because I thought we would have at least advertisements up. This comes to the administration part that you were speaking about. So, how many months are we looking to try and get even advertisements out for it? We haven't gotten that far. So, anything else on the resolution itself?
I mean, I'll just mention, since the money issue came up, right, and I think DPW is a typo on the budget, because I think it actually includes buildings, it includes the section below it, perhaps. But that's a department where we're looking at $529,000 worth of expenses. There's really no.
That's not for a department. We're not talking about salaries and vehicles there, we're talking about infrastructure. There's a big difference between those two things.
Well, yeah, it looks like about $120,000 for this year that has to do with the various paving projects, but we're still talking in hundreds of thousands of dollars from a department standpoint. And it's not unheard of to farm out a lot of DPW type work as well. So, I mean, if that's the route that we're going, if we're, from a dollars and cents perspective, I'm just.
Well, maybe you should, what I would say, Mr. Crone, is if you want to do something like that, you should formally put something together and propose that to council. But that's not what we're discussing right now.
Right, no, I'm
Okay.
just trying to.
I mean, I'm fine with that, but, you know, put the legwork in, go do what you want to do, and you can propose that, and then we'll discuss it at a meeting like we're doing right now. But if you don't have anything to propose, then let's move on.
Can I just ask
Let's move on.
one quick question?
Oh, yeah, sure.
If you would do this, that we would have a police department, or we would have a regional, or we would depend on the state police, So the police budget, where would you allocate that money?
Well, it would depend. A regional police force would mean we'd still have a police force here. We're just part of a larger police force. If we did, we were contracting with another department, we would have to pay them for their services, like Foster Township does with Whitehaven. They pay them $150,000 a year to get X number of patrol hours. And if that didn't go to that, I honestly can't say. That would be where we talk about at budget time. I mean, again, there is no, if I may, please, yeah, what,
I think we're being very presumptive
thank
about
you,
an
that's what I was trying
outcome.
to get to, right?
Right, this is merely a study where we will come up with possible alternative solutions. So we're already assuming that this is gonna go in a direction, and it could be an expanded force, as we said, or some alternative. So we're doing a lot of assumptions and presumptions, and
Worst case
putting the cart
scenario.
before the horse here, to even have these kind of discussions, or
As a reminder from the legal end of this is purely investigatory. There is no decision or action being made with regards to the police department. This is just an action to obtain information for the future decision-making purposes of council.
And I would frame it as it goes from expansion to elimination. That's what we're looking at. Those are the possibilities. Because there are municipalities around us that don't have coverage. That, we've spoken about this before. I mean, Chief will tell you, have we not spoken about increasing our patrols outside of the borough and looking at other, right? So this is a comprehensive evaluation of what the future of a police force in Freeland or police coverage in Freeland would look like. All right, so on to the part-time and full-time. So have we advertised for part-time candidates? Mr. Myers, you're the head of the public
No,
safety.
we have not.
Can you tell me why we haven't?
No, I can't, sorry. I guess I
Okay.
can put it out there.
Because we
I would have to get,
did vote on advertising for
Yes.
part-time. Okay,
I guess I would have to get with Heather to see how to go about that.
that's correct. And on the civil service, where are we at with full-time candidates and hiring for that?
So where civil service stands is, you know, we're given a mandate that the trainings be completed. Both Mr. Fisher and I have completed 2 of the trainings. Mr. Thomas was unavailable until after the parade was done, so I need to get with him and see where he stands. So, you know, theoretically speaking, before our next meeting, everyone will have their trainings. We could agree to a reorganization timeline as well as a swearing-in timeline, theoretically by next meeting.
Again, excuse me, point of, I guess, order, I don't know, point of procedure. Do civil service commissions get sworn in? Do we do?
Yeah, it's in the manual, the DCED manual.
But we don't have to do, how do you guys, who swears you in?
Well, normally speaking, a mayor would.
Okay,
Otherwise, it's a trip to the magistrate's office, which would hopefully be all 3 people at one time.
gotcha, all right.
Excuse me. It's my understanding that the first meeting, that we're supposed to have a solicitor present for the construction of the committees.
Your organizational.
I have no idea.
And if that be the case, would we utilize our present solicitor to sit in on that?
I would assume that we do.
Yes.
I mean, it's not a permanent thing, it's not like a commission or something where they have to be at every meeting, right?
Right.
Yeah. All right, anything else on that?
Yeah, I'm looking for the ad. You know, there was some significant changes in the last contract, so, you know, I could pull together my ad that I had from 2024 or something like that, and then compare it against the contract.
Can you get the information, get
I'll
him
go back
that?
and send the exact ad from before, but we don't need to change, and I apologize if I'm speaking out of turn, but I don't think we need to amend that at all, because the last ad said the salary is commensurate with his experience and so on and so forth. We don't have to explain to part-time people what we offer in a contract.
Oh, no, this is full-time.
For full-time.
Yeah,
Okay.
part-time, we're good. We're good on that, that just did not get done.
I understand.
Full-time is the
And
one who's looking for the ad.
And a lot of the issues that we have, which I'll just call them deficiencies for right now, for lack of a better term, is because we don't have the manpower. And there's a lot of stuff that needs to be done that we need more manpower. Even if there were an administrative chief here, stuff couldn't get done because of all the stuff on the outside. You know, so there's, the delays in what's going on here, and the progression of the department relies heavily on more manpower, which I've been begging for a long time. And I'm not I'm not insulting or pointing fingers, but feet have been drugged around here, and that doesn't help us. You know, we're trying to do the best we can with what we have, and I'm keeping it within our budget. But in order to provide the things that we need to provide to our town, especially now when what's generally a busy season, can't be done effectively without either some overtime or more people. So we need the help from council so we can move this forward as fast as possible. Officer Ercolino has been doing his field training, he's still coming and doing that. We're working around his other schedule with the department that he started with. So there are challenges, you know, and the cooperation is key. You know, and I understand where you're going. There's more discussion that maybe.
I would say, I mean, they've hired a lot of people who have never showed up for one shift.
I was gonna get into
But
that
that's
one.
because they got other jobs.
The other thing I want to bring up is the fact that even when Hazelton City put out to hire people, they couldn't even have the test because they didn't get to 10 people.
Correct.
So this is not a Freeland Borough Police Department problem that we're
No,
looking
it's
at.
across the board.
I want everybody in the meeting here to understand that we are not complaining about the police department. We are looking about the realities of policing in 2026. That's what we're looking at.
It's everywhere, I agree, 100%. And this is a topic that was addressed 15, 20 years ago, and it was dropped with the regionalization in the area because of, you know, big fish, little pond type of a thing, you know?
Yeah.
But hopefully everything can work out for the best. I appreciate the help with the advertising.
Try to get there.
Yeah, I mean, I believe I have the latest version of the contract in my possession. So the last full-time ad, if somebody could get that to me, whether that's the chief, or whether that's Heather, or whether that's Tom, or anybody, I will do the legwork to update the numbers.
At the
Heather
same
can get it for you.
At the same time, if I can help with that, in order to expedite the process for the testing, the whole contract really doesn't have to be spelled out in the ad itself. We can have a supplemental form that when people come to return their applications and so forth, they can get that information as well.
Right, the only reason I'm asking for it is on behalf of the commission members, if they want to have a more detailed ad, although I don't know who gets to decide the ad, but the whole thing's not gonna go on the standard speaker because it'll be $5,000 for the ad. But we have a
Yeah, well,
website that could have the more
Indeed and
detailed
stuff like that,
information,
yeah.
because I don't want us to look like a bunch of jabronis relative to other departments giving like, you know, come be a cop, we'll give you some money and a gun.
I got you.
We get very little results from the standard speaker, not hundreds of hits.
Yeah, I mean, that's only the legal obligation part of it, I think, more than anything.
I don't know if we have to actually put it in.
It is a requirement.
That has to go in the newspaper?
Has there been any consideration to the cadet contract?
Yes.
Okay.
Yes, there is. And it probably should have been on this month. Forgot about that. I just have to clean one part of it with the solicitor.
Do we know where Lackawanna is right now? If they're not doing anything over the summer as far as classes go, or?
They have classes in now.
So we're waiting for the next round.
There's, well, which that contract can be proposed that's suitable to, you know, that's agreeable to council as far as the, you know, the expenses and the financial.
Right, I'm just trying to understand though, when somebody would be enrolling next September?
Probably, I would assume that the next class would be somewhere around the fall, yeah.
Okay,
because
I
they
can
got
look into
one
it.
now.
All right, thank you.
All right, moving on. So on the EMS, we have the May reimbursement requests from the ambulance. Performance the same